I transmigrated into the world of a book. The timing was absolutely correct. It was the exact moment when the original husband, who had married into his wife's family, handed her the divorce papers, asking her to sign. He secretly tricked her into signing when she wasn't paying attention, and even insisted on waiting another month for the cooling-off period before leaving. The original husband was constantly framed by his wife's crush, never defending himself with words, never fighting back with his hands, never walking away with his feet. All he did was keep a blank face, force a bitter smile, and endure humiliation. Anyone watching would think he was born a masochist, a pure simp. But I am not the original husband. Not only do I want to divorce immediately, I also want to take $1 billion of her fortune. Then I'll go abroad to reunite with my first love, and watch as her crush drags her into bankruptcy. My plan was flawless, if only my wife couldn't hear my inner thoughts. Chapter 1. What contract do you need me to sign right now? My wife, Willow, said impatiently, holding her phone in one hand while taking the pen in the other. She was busy chatting with her crush, Makoto. I had just transmigrated, arriving right at the moment when the original husband was tricking Willow into signing the divorce papers. All because Willow's crush was coming back to the country. The original husband generously wanted to make room for him. I remembered how the original husband deceived Willow, telling her it was a housing contract. The wealthy and overconfident Willow didn't even look at it. She flipped to the last page and signed. But I had no intention of doing that. I always believed in one principle: if you do something, do it openly. If you have a reason, state it clearly. Revenge should be taken. Resentment should be returned. Basically, it's all about clear-cut grudges and gratitude. All right. You saw through me. I'm not that noble. The main point is, this was a divorce agreement leaving me with nothing. Why? I married into Willow's family for 3 years, worked hard, endured everything, and never even touched her finger, so why should I walk away with nothing? The original husband pretended to be noble, chasing pure love, but in reality, he was just a simp, giving up everything and even paying extra. But I am not like that. Everyone's youth is precious. Was it that I didn't want to touch Willow? No, it was she who insisted on playing the pure and untouchable role, claiming she had a phobia of men and couldn't stand being close to them. A woman like this. And yet the original husband still thought he should leave with nothing, not even taking a single penny from the Liu family. Then why stay in this house during the 30-day cooling-off period? Wasn't it because deep down, he was still hoping Willow might turn back before the dream ended? What a fake noble act. Willow's attention was completely on her phone as she flipped to the last page of the contract. She raised her pen, ready to sign her name. I stepped forward and snatched the papers. Rip. Without a word, I tore up the divorce agreement that would have left me with nothing. Willow frowned at my sudden change of attitude and asked impatiently, "George, what are you doing?" I didn't hide anything, I said bluntly. This is a divorce agreement. Some of the terms were written wrong. I'll prepare a new one later. Inside, I was thinking, good thing I ripped it up. A woman like Willow doesn't deserve to send me away with nothing, without at least $1 billion in compensation. I won't give her crush a spot. What? Willow was shocked and froze in place. Just now, when she heard the words divorce agreement, Willow was utterly shocked. She instinctively turned her head to look at me. She saw that my lips hadn't moved. Yet she still clearly heard me say 2 sentences. What the hell? Willow even suspected she was hallucinating. She tested me. George, you want to divorce me? Why? Since the words were already out, I didn't hide it. Pretending to be generous, I said, isn't your crush about to return home? I'm giving you both a chance to be together openly, so the news of President Liu cheating won't spread all over the place. But in my heart, I was thinking, she wasted 3 years of my life. I'd rather slap her to death. Letting her off cheap is unacceptable. Is $1 billion too little? How about $10 billion? Willow finally realized that what she had heard afterward was my inner voice. $10 billion. Ha. He really dares to ask for that. I never thought about divorcing you. Makoto and I are just friends. Don't overthink it. And don't ever bring up divorce again. Smack. I couldn't be bothered to argue with Willow. I slapped her across the face. I committed domestic violence. So are we divorcing or not? In my heart, I thought, if we don't divorce soon, the Liu family will go bankrupt, and I won't get a single cent. No, we must get divorced today. Besides, I'm not taking the money just to spend on myself. In the future, I'll have to clean up the Liu family's corpse. After taking a slap from me, Willow was stunned. I had simped for her for 3 years, and now I actually dared to hit her. Fury surged in her chest. She wanted to immediately send someone to break my legs, but the very next second, she heard my inner voice. Her anger instantly turned into fear. What? The Liu family going bankrupt? Me cleaning up the Liu family's corpse? Absolutely not. Willow Liu was the president of the Liu Corporation. The Liu family was not just her family, it was her life security. and her lifelong mission. She could die, but the Liu family must never go bankrupt. For the Liu family, she could give up love and sacrifice her marriage. Chapter 2. Willow still refused to agree to a divorce. I had no idea what she was thinking, and I couldn't be bothered to guess. Wouldn't it be better to divorce me and then openly be with Makoto? She tore the new agreement I brought out into pieces, rushed into the bedroom, and locked the door, leaving only one sentence: even if you beat me to death, I won't divorce you. I was speechless. You shut the door. How could I even beat you to death? This home, no, this was never my home. My real home is in the countryside. I had to leave quickly. If I stayed, Willow's new man would soon move in. I wasn't running away. I just felt sick at the sight of that pretentious coquette. Even hitting him would dirty my hands. Back in my room, I packed my things overnight. 2 big suitcases. This was the empire I had built over 3 years, including the gifts Willow bought me for the Liu family's pride. The original owner of this body was too proud to want anything, but I would take them. Why should I refuse money? Unlike the original owner, who secretly left, I got in the car and immediately posted on WeChat Moments. The picture showed the bold characters of the divorce agreement. The caption read, "I, George, have signed a divorce agreement with Miss Willow, who remains pure and untouched." As for whether the Liu family's reputation collapsed or Liu Corporation's stock prices fell, what did that have to do with me? I was just a live-in son-in-law, and a useless, spineless one at that. After posting, I switched off my phone, hit the gas, and sped away from Willow's villa, away from City A, back to my home in the countryside, with my parents gone and no siblings. This was one of the conditions that made the Liu family choose me as their live-in son-in-law. A 2-story house, always cleaned and managed by a village auntie. It was spotless. I could live there right away. Sleeping in my true home, I finally rested peacefully until morning. No need to wake early to cook breakfast for Willow. No need to watch her mood. No need to serve her shoes or carry her bag. Sigh. Just thinking about it brought tears. Original owner. How could you live so pathetically? Willow woke up at dawn. Her phone had died while she was video chatting with her best friend. She grabbed the charger, turned it on, and instantly felt the sky collapsing. 99 plus missed calls and messages, all from her parents, sister, and several friends. Her parents and sister were traveling abroad. Had something happened to them? She suddenly remembered George mentioning the Liu family going bankrupt, and hurriedly called Father Liu. As soon as the call connected, Father Liu's furious voice roared through, "Unfilial daughter, contact George immediately and make him delete that WeChat post." Mother Liu's crying voice followed, "Delete what? Let everyone see what kind of person this Willow really is. I want to sever our mother-daughter relationship." Willow was dumbfounded. She knew her mom favored George, but to cut ties with her, that was impossible. It must have been George telling them lies. She quickly hung up and opened George's WeChat post. One glance, and her mind went blank. Her phone slipped from her hand to the floor. The words, "pure and untouched," felt like 4 heavy slaps, striking her face mercilessly. Her face flushed bright red. There are some things one may do but never speak of, especially when exposed to the whole world by her own husband in such a way. How would outsiders see her? Would they say her husband was inadequate in that aspect, or that she was? Or that she disrespected her own husband? Or perhaps that she bullied her current husband for the sake of her love affair? George. In 3 years of marriage, this was the first time Willow rushed into my room. Inside, it was empty. Neither the person nor his belongings remained. She hurried to check the surveillance cameras, only to see me dragging my suitcases out of the villa without the slightest hesitation. Willow collapsed onto the floor, her mind in chaos. If in the past she could swear with absolute certainty that she didn't like her current husband one bit, now her heart felt completely hollow. Chapter 3. Willow arrived sooner than I expected. I had just woken up and was about to head to town for breakfast. She was already waiting at my doorstep. Yesterday she was still a dazzling beauty, but now her hair was a mess. She was still in her pajamas, and it seemed she hadn't even washed her face. There was a sense of brokenness about her. I thought to myself, seeing this woman like this, could it be that Makoto doesn't want her anymore? Tisk. Willow is just a simp too. She and I, how pathetic. Willow rolled her eyes helplessly. "Who, husband, can I come in?" This time, it was my turn to be stunned. It felt like thunder rumbling across the sky. Husband. In 3 years of marriage, she had never once called me that. This woman suddenly calling me husband, why do I feel like slapping her again? She must be like a weasel paying New Year greetings to a chicken. Up to no good. I'd better be on guard. In the end, I still let Willow in. After all, villagers were already watching the spectacle outside. Say it. Other than the divorce agreement, we have nothing else to discuss. If you don't sign, I really might commit domestic violence. Or maybe I'll cheat. Would that work? Or is it that you think I'm asking for too much money? Then you decide how much to give. As soon as I said that, I regretted it. Damn. How could I let her decide? What if she gives me nothing? I can't actually beat her up. Or really cheat. Right. I can't just be like those newly divorced guys who go to the night bar and wrap themselves with 10 young models. Right. It's all because my principles are too rigid. I can't even play the scumbag properly. Willow lowered her head, fell silent for a while, then looked up again with a very earnest expression. Husband, I never once thought about divorcing you. I sneered. Of course you don't want to divorce me. At home the main flag stands tall, while outside, the side flags wave freely. What a toxic woman, Willow said helplessly. I will never cheat. I scoffed. But you will cheat emotionally. Damn pretentious coquette. Willow raised 3 fingers and swore. I will never cheat, neither physically nor emotionally. I suddenly understood. So that woman wants to keep me calm for now. And in a year or 2, or maybe just a few months, she'll divorce me then. Scheming woman. Willow opened her mouth. But no words came out. Her heart was filled with despair. If it had been before, yes, she truly might have been planning exactly that. But now she realized her heart seemed to have changed. Makoto felt like a distant dream, untouchable and unreal, while George, who had accompanied her for 3 years, seemed far more real. Willow hadn't given up yet. She tried to play the emotional card. Mom fainted when she saw your WeChat post. She still hasn't woken up. Dad's heart isn't good, you know that. The Liu parents had treated me like their own son, though they rarely stayed in City A. Ever since Willow took over the company, the couple had been traveling the world. But they often called and messaged the original George, showing concern, especially Mother Liu. Once, when she came back, she threw a drunk Willow onto George's bed. Another time, she even used a love incense drug on Willow. Unfortunately, the original George insisted on pure love, scorning such tactics. It made Mother Liu both angry and distressed. She practically wanted to force them to take an aphrodisiac. Chapter 4. Because of Father and Mother Liu's interference, Willow and I temporarily stopped the divorce process. The truth is, Father and Mother Liu were the kindest people to me in this world. As an orphan, I cherished that bit of affection. I deleted the WeChat post, but I refused Willow's suggestion that I publish another one to clarify. When I walked Willow out, I couldn't help but let my thoughts wander. If I had known divorce would be this troublesome, I should have tricked her into signing the agreement last night. Then I could have flown abroad directly. I wonder if, by going abroad a month earlier, I might still run into my crush. Too bad I don't have my senior Sophia's contact info right now. First, I'll get my passport ready. In a few days, I'll fly over to look for her. In the original story, the previous George divorced, went abroad, and coincidentally ran into his university senior Sophia. Sophia was evenly matched with Willow in background, looks, and figure. Most importantly, the two were sworn enemies. For some reason, as soon as Willow heard me thinking about a senior, a crush, and even planning to go abroad to find her. What for? Looking for a new partner. Reliving old memories. Jealousy, anger, sadness, and despair all surged within her. The thought of George marrying another woman in a wedding ceremony. Wait, wasn't George's senior Sophia? She was Willow's senior too. They had graduated from the same school. Perfect. George. So before the divorce is even finalized, you're already preparing to find another woman, and you choose my sworn enemy Sophia. Willow was furious, her despair igniting into blazing rage. She could feel the hot air rushing from her nostrils, as if it could burn through the earth. George Wang. Hearing Willow grit out my name one word at a time, I instinctively stepped back in fear. I couldn't understand why she was suddenly so angry. What's wrong with this woman? Could it be she regrets it again? Sigh. If she really forces me to leave with nothing, fine. When she gets herself killed one day, I won't bother to bury her. Willow's flames of fury were suddenly extinguished. She wasn't stupid. She had already guessed that I could foresee the future. The thought of the Liu family's bankruptcy and the death of the entire household made her drop all questions about Sophia. Only one thought remained in her heart. As things stand, if we want to save the family, George's inner voice is our only hope. So under no circumstances can I divorce him. With that resolve, Willow's business instincts took over. She began calculating the bargaining chips in her hands. Money. George seemed to want money, yet was willing to leave with nothing. She couldn't use that to control him. Family and affection. George was an orphan, and he treasured these most, but just now he was plotting to go abroad. Marriage and love. Willow covered her face, overcome with shame. For the past 3 years, she had never been a qualified wife. Now, her only bargaining chip seemed to be the one thing George valued most, her pure and untouched status. Willow, what are you thinking about? Are you leaving or not? Willow snapped back to reality. I'm not leaving. We're not divorced yet. Your home is my home. Can't I stay in my own home? She had decided to stay by my side 24 hours a day, to keep me from sneaking abroad, and I couldn't manage to chase away a clingy stray dog. Chapter 5. In the next few days, Willow seemed like a different person. She worked remotely at my house during the day. At night, she even tried to sneak into my room. She stuck to me all day long. I was baffled and terrified of what schemes she was plotting, especially since she kept dropping hints, trying to ask me about my senior Sophia. Of course, I said nothing. On top of that, she started talking to me about company matters. That made me even more suspicious of her motives, because 3 years ago, when I became her live-in son-in-law, Willow had set down 3 rules. No talking about love, no talking about the company, no talking about having children. Willow, what the hell do you want? That day, I finally couldn't stand her affection anymore. She had just insisted on sitting with me on the couch to watch a movie, and she even wanted to clean my ears. Good grief, aren't you supposed to be a clean freak? Willow, don't tell me you're trying to sweet-talk me into donating a kidney or heart for your crush. I muttered inwardly, this body of mine is probably the only valuable thing I've got. Looks like I need to escape tonight. Willow sighed. These past few days, she had been working hard to be a proper wife, doing laundry, cooking, chatting, even preparing to share a bed. But like moonlight shining on a ditch, her affection was wasted. My heart was as indifferent as water to falling flowers. It seemed she would have to use her ultimate move, asking for Mom's help. You are my husband, and I will treat you well for the rest of my life. I can swear it. Over these days, Willow had realized marriage and love could be set aside for now. Avoiding the Liu family's bankruptcy was the real priority. Without marriage and love, she might survive, but without the Liu family's protection, not only would she die, the whole family would die miserably. Thinking rationally, Willow revealed her trump card. Husband, today Mom, Dad, and my little sister are coming back from abroad. Let's go to the old house together, shall we? Whenever Father and Mother Liu were mentioned, I couldn't help but soften. Kind people can never refuse those who are truly good to them. Forget it, let's meet them and explain everything clearly. I couldn't just disappear without a word like the original George. Slap. Slap. As soon as we arrived, Willow received 2 slaps from her parents. She covered her face with both hands, looking pitiful. Mother Liu shouted, "Kneel." Willow didn't dare disobey. Mom, I know I was wrong. I'm willing. I'm really willing now to be a real wife to my husband. Mom, where are the things you prepared for me? I can use them today. No one knew her better than her mother. Seeing her daughter didn't look like she was lying, Mother Liu's anger subsided a little, but realizing her daughter was repenting only now, she deserved punishment. Slap. Willow cried, "Mom, why are you still hitting me?" At this moment, Freya, my sister-in-law, ran over and grabbed Mother Liu's hand. "Mom, you're going too far." Mother Liu awkwardly shook off her hand and said, she stepped in with her left foot first, "What do you expect me to do?" Puffed. Seeing Willow's aggrieved face, I couldn't hold back my laughter. Sure enough, only my mother-in-law can keep this woman in check. What a pity. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, and even my sister-in-law will all end up dead because of this woman. George, you. Mother Liu suddenly staggered back 2 steps in shock. If Father Liu hadn't supported her, she would have fallen. Freya, who usually hated me the most as her brother-in-law, was furious. "George, how dare you?" Slap. Willow smacked her sister across the face before she could finish. She quickly gave her parents and sister a look, then dragged them into the bedroom on the first floor. Before entering, she turned back and instructed Butler Wu, "Uncle Wu, keep an eye on my husband, and make him some, no, just get him a Coke, always invisible." Uncle Wu suddenly appeared in the kitchen and handed me a bottle. I hadn't expected Willow to know the original George's favorite drink was Coke, but instead of being touched, I was left wondering why the Liu family had suddenly acted so strangely. I couldn't figure it out. Chapter 6. I sat in the living room waiting for the Liu family to come out, but half an hour passed with no movement. I could only faintly hear the sounds of slaps, and the screams of Willow and Freya. After a while, Father and Mother Liu walked out, looking heavy-hearted. The 2 sisters trailed behind them with their heads lowered. Then Mother Liu burst into tears and hugged me. I was at a loss, wanting to comfort her but not knowing what to say. "Mom, don't cry. Willow and I are temporarily not planning to divorce. We will try to live well together." Meanwhile, I was calculating inwardly, just stabilize them for now. In a few days, I'll slip abroad. When the Liu family goes bankrupt, and they're all killed, I'll sneak back to collect their bodies. No, that won't do. I must take father and mother-in-law with me. If mother-in-law stays, she'll not only be insulted but end up dying miserably, her reputation ruined. Father-in-law at least will go quickly. Once the family collapses, his heart disease will take him, but the most tragic will be Freya. Forget it. She's always cursed me and hated me. When the time comes, I'll buy her the cheapest urn. She'll be using it in less than 2 months anyway. As I comforted Mother Lou, these thoughts flickered in my mind. I didn't notice the different looks the Lou family cast at me. Father Lou, relieved. Mother Lou, heartbroken. Willow, filled with regret. Freya, expression unreadable. Fists clenched, jaw tight. She still didn't believe her sister's claim that George's inner voice was prophetic. It wasn't scientific. She was determined to find George's flaw. George, Mom supports you divorcing Willow. Mother Lou suddenly sat upright. Speaking seriously, I'll call the bank later and transfer 10 billion to you. Mom hopes you take that money, go abroad, and never come back. I shot to my feet in shock. Mom, what are you? Father Lou walked over and patted my shoulder. Your mom and I truly see you as a son. Since your fate with Willow has run its course, let's part peacefully. When Mom and I go abroad in the future, you must host us well in your home. At that moment, my brain went blank. This wasn't how I imagined it. Weren't they supposed to persuade me not to divorce? How come they not only agreed but also gave me 10 billion? I looked at Willow. Her face was covered with tears, regret filling her eyes. Husband, my parents are right. It's me who wronged you. Me who failed to be your wife. I agree to divorce you. Freya, hot-tempered as ever, exploded. George, hurry up. Sign the papers. Take the money, and get lost. I'll even add 23.5 million more for you. When you go abroad, take my parents with you. You're the real family. Go settle down overseas together. I thought, what's with this family? Still, this brainless Freya happens to agree with me, but I don't want her money. I'll order the cheapest urn for her tomorrow. She'll be using it in less than 2 months. George, Freya stomped her foot angrily. That's the savings from 20 years of my New Year's money. You. Ring. Freya never finished. Her phone rang. She answered, spoke only a few words, then hung up. She looked at her parents and Willow. Your business is none of mine. Do whatever you want. I don't believe any of it anyway. Today's Maria's birthday. I have to go. She grabbed her bag and prepared to leave, but before walking out, she shot me a venomous glare. I was speechless. I opened my mouth to persuade her to stay, but this girl loved to go against me. Freya is about to lose her purity. She'll join in group debauchery, get photographed, and later be blackmailed into becoming one of the grave diggers of the Lou Corporation's bankruptcy. TSK, how should I stop her? Chapter 7. In the end, Freya didn't leave. Just as she was about to walk out, Father, Mother, and Willow called her back. Mother Lou even pulled out the Lou family's ancestral law, a black leather whip. What's going on with Freya? If she didn't leave, does that mean the Lou family might actually avoid bankruptcy? Should I stay and help them? But the key problem is Willow. That foolish woman is the biggest reason for the Lou family's collapse. Once again, Willow Lou felt despair. She hadn't even done anything, so why would the Lou family go bankrupt because of her? But, listening to her husband's words, destiny could be changed. The thought lifted her spirits. As expected of Willow, she could face bankruptcy, be a love brain, and be schemed against. But all the Willows across the myriad worlds share one thing in common: beautiful, aloof, and truly capable. She pulled out her phone and called her assistant. Lisa, bring a team. Arrive at night bar, private room 1. Within 30 minutes, take photos, record videos, gather evidence, then bring Maria back to the Lou family estate. Father and Mother Lou exchanged glances, then nodded with a smile. Freya's face flickered with hesitation, but a second later, ruthless determination shone through. Even her bangs couldn't hide it. Willow suddenly changed her mind. She wanted to fight for her marriage one more time. Husband, can we wait 1 more month before divorcing? Don't worry. Willow keeps her word. 10 billion will be transferred to you right now. Before I could answer, Father and Mother Lou stepped forward too. Earlier, they had agreed to the divorce for my sake, but now, they also felt it was worth one last attempt, to see if fate could be changed. Mother Lou grabbed my hand. Child, Mom can't bear to see you leave. Stay at the old house for this month. Okay. Freya walked over, tugged at my sleeve, and, unprecedentedly, acted coy. Brother-in-law, from now on I'll treat you well. I remained silent, deep in thought. This family was getting stranger and stranger, especially Freya. Didn't she realize what she said sounded odd? Fine. I'll stay, for the 10 billion in cash. A man should see things through. Disappearing without a word really isn't right. Willow can die, but the Lou family must not go bankrupt. In the future, everything can be handed over to Freya. I can stay, but Willow, you must promise me one thing. As long as this marriage lasts, you can't do anything immoral. Willow nodded quickly, but her heart was filled with sorrow. So she really had to die, didn't she? I don't want to die. I sighed silently to myself. Sigh. Tomorrow, once Makoto returns, Willow's love brain will take over. She'll not only greet him at the airport with flowers and hugs, but also bring him home. and even make me cook for her lover, and clean up the room. That scumbag man will even want to live in the master bedroom right in front of me. Ugh. Just thinking about it makes me feel sick. Maybe I should just break Willow's legs right now. Good. Father Lou suddenly shouted, pointing at Willow. Furious, he said, "Go to your parents' room. I need to talk with you about company matters." Mother Lou quietly picked up the little leather whip, her face kind as she looked at me. "Good son-in-law, your father, mother, and Willow have some company issues to discuss. You have another Coke." Willow's face turned ashen. She begged, This isn't real. I haven't agreed to take over yet." Before she could finish, her body went limp, collapsing to the ground. Freya clenched her fists, her aura like a tiger descending the mountain. She gave a sinister smile. "Sister, I have something to talk to you about too." I watched as the whole family went back into the room. Soon after, Willow's shrill screams echoed from inside. I knew something was wrong. Something was very abnormal. I asked Uncle Wu, "Don't you think they've been acting strangely today?" Uncle Wu, who had worked for the Liu family his whole life, smiled cheerfully. "Son-in-law, I actually agree. For disobedient children, the mixed double beating is the true way, and for a disobedient wife, pure love doesn't work." I was speechless. Chapter 8. Half an hour later, Willow was carried out, weak as if her breath might fade at any moment. Her face bore no wounds, but she had changed into a different set of clothes. At the same time, her assistant Lisa arrived with a group of people. Alongside them was a disheveled woman, her mouth stuffed with a ball of black silk. I recognized her. I'd seen her a few times, Freya's best friend, Maria. When Lisa entered, she glanced at Willow in surprise. Why did the CEO's face look swollen? But she dared not ask. Instead, she bent down and whispered something in Willow's ear. The momentarily frail Willow instantly became a predator. Her icy gaze swept over Maria. "You really don't know anything. Nod or shake your head." Maria shook her head frantically. Willow gestured with her hand. "Take her and all the evidence to the police." Soon Maria was escorted away. Before leaving, Lisa was pulled aside by Willow, who whispered a few words to her. I didn't hear what they said, only noticed Lisa glance at me before leaving. Father Lou instructed Uncle Wu to prepare dinner. "George, tonight you and Willow should stay here. Have a couple of drinks with Dad. How about it?" Seeing the family's expectant eyes, I went along. The last moments of happiness always make people reluctant to let go. Sigh. "Willow, if only you hadn't chosen to destroy yourself." Just as Willow sat in her chair, her body went limp, and she slid to the floor. Husband, I really don't want to be beaten again. Another round of joint beatings, and she'd rather kill herself to escape. Who at 25 still gets beaten every day? I glared at her. Her being beaten had nothing to do with me. I hadn't done anything, nor said anything. Willow, no. The whole Liu family was acting strangely today. At dinner, Father Lou kept pouring me wine. Mother Lou personally picked food into my bowl. Freya even leaned over to wipe my mouth. Willow, trying to squeeze in, found no place and could only sit meekly like a quail in her chair. I stole a glance at her, pondering. Something's off with Willow. Why is her face so red? Her eyes downcast, shy as a bride-to-be. Could it be that woman is thinking about her Makoto again? Willow suddenly jumped up and waved her hands quickly. "No, I really wasn't. Mom, don't forget that thing." Mother Lou calmly nodded. Father Lou raised his cup again. "Good son-in-law, have another drink." Freya personally picked up my cup. "Brother-in-law, let me feed you." Cough, cough. Mother Lou slapped her daughter's hand away and glared at Father Lou. "What drinking? What if he gets drunk and can't handle business?" She then placed a sea cucumber simmered with epimedium in my bowl. "George, eat more. Tonight, the old house is damp and cold at night. You need the nourishment." Perhaps there was too much nourishment, because when I returned to my room, I felt unbearably hot. In the middle of the night, a woman slipped into my bed. From her scent and touch, I knew it was Willow, but I didn't refuse. I wasn't like the original owner, that so-called pure love warrior. Why would I reject meat delivered to my lips? Besides, I was still her husband in name. She truly was pure and untouched. A delicate rose bloomed, and 3 years of humiliation burst forth into blossoming plum blossoms. Chapter 9. By the next evening, the Liu family received guests. They were family friends, another powerful clan in City A, Makoto and his father. I didn't really want to see them, so I stayed in the game room Mother Lou had especially set up for me. I only came out when it was time for dinner, but to my surprise, Willow didn't rush down to see her crush immediately. Instead, she slowly came down the stairs, clutching the railing, looking frail. Her clothes were extremely modest, showing only her hands and her face. I couldn't understand what she was trying to do. Beside me, Father Lou's distressed voice rang out. "How much of the drug did you give her yesterday?" "All night, without stopping." Mother Lou rolled her eyes. "I didn't give any at all. You took the wrong thing." Father Lu was shocked. Then they. Mother Lu smiled with relief. They finally figured it out. Then she sighed long. But it's too late. Over there. The moment Makoto saw Willow come down, he rushed forward. Willow, why didn't you answer my calls? Are you sick? You look like you just woke up. Willow forced a smile and calmly avoided Makoto's hand. I really was sick. Slept all day. Then, while greeting Mr. Ito, she walked straight to my side and sat down. At the dining table, Father Lu, as head of the family, said, Old Ito, let's drink today. It's been a long time since we had a few cups together. Kento smiled, nodded, and teased, rare for you, a wife slave, to act tough for once. Fine, let's drink. I didn't drink, and neither did Makoto. After a few rounds of dishes and wine, Makoto Ito took out a gift box. When opened, inside lay a dazzling diamond necklace, glowing with brilliant blue light. Willow, I didn't know what to bring you when I returned home, until I saw this at an auction, a masterpiece, the late work of Master Pavani, Deep Sea Love. It symbolizes our feelings, no, our friendship, as deep as the sea itself. They say women are like Western dragons, always hoarding glittering diamonds. I estimated that necklace had to be worth at least 2 to 3 billion. Makoto truly loves Willow. After all these years abroad, he's kept himself pure. This isn't just a gift, this is a bride price. Let's see if that woman is moved. For a moment, Willow was indeed slightly moved, but only a little. After all, the waves of last night's passion lingered far stronger in her memory. Now, she couldn't conjure feelings for another man. Well, she was simply too full. But hearing Makoto's unchanging devotion did stir a bit of pride in her as a woman. Still, she couldn't accept the gift. Doing so would get her killed. Mother Lu, fearing her daughter might self-destruct again, quickly urged, this gift is too expensive. Willow cannot accept it. Father Lu added, friendship among the younger generation shouldn't be this extravagant. Otherwise, if your father and I exchange gifts, we'd be throwing around tens of billions. Ha ha ha. But Kento nodded and pulled out a folder. Old Lu, this is a port project in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Interested? Father Lu dropped the joke immediately, and his first glance was at me. I understood instantly. He was worried I'd misunderstand, but I wasn't qualified to reject it on his behalf, because I was just a live-in son-in-law, with no shares in the Lu Corporation, unqualified to speak on business. The Ito family really is generous. Too bad. Makoto's necklace wasn't truly meant for that pretentious coquette. Willow had just been proud of Makoto's love for her, but the moment she heard it wasn't genuine, she immediately held her breath, focusing intently on what I would say next. This time, even Father and Mother Lu, along with the usually silent Freya, stopped what they were doing to listen. The one he truly wanted to give it to was my mother-in-law. TSK, if Willow knew that her beloved's real desire was actually her own mother, would she die of rage? Willow's eyes instantly reddened, her fists clenching so tightly they creaked. Mother Lu dropped her chopsticks onto the table, covering her mouth in disgust. Father Lu nearly crushed his cup. Meanwhile, I just kept eating the food in my bowl. Freya was so attentive that she didn't let my bowl stay empty for a moment. Sigh. The whole family is blind. Makoto looks at Willow 10 times, but secretly glances at my mother-in-law 20 times. Makoto lost his mother young. He has a mother complex, and all these years, Willow never noticed. Serves her right to be schemed against in the future. Mother Lu could no longer remain seated. Without a word, she returned to her room. At last, she understood why I had once said her reputation would be ruined. Without the protection of the Lu Corporation, she wouldn't escape Makoto's coercion. Willow, like Freya, also left without a word. The atmosphere instantly became unbearably awkward. Father Lu set down his wine glass, lowering his head to hide the hatred in his eyes. He was a man who had weathered storms. He had watched Makoto grow up, but in the end, you can never truly know someone's heart. Before, he had thought Makoto's closeness to Mother Lu was only because the boy lacked maternal love. Now it was clear, Makoto didn't just want a mother's love. He wanted far more. Old Ito, I'm feeling unwell too. Let my son-in-law drink with you. Without turning back, Father Lu left the table. The situation could no longer be described as just awkward. Makoto put away the necklace and left. Kento paused, sighed, and followed him out. The father and son never once looked at me. Well then, because of the original George's spinelessness, I deserved not to be taken seriously. Chapter 10. An hour later, Willow once again came out covered in bruises. This time it looked like a real beating. Her clothes were torn to shreds, and she had to be supported by Mother Lu and Freya. I couldn't help but grumble inwardly. That woman is truly pitiful, beaten by her parents outside, beaten by me inside, but she deserves it. Father Lu pulled me to sit down, casually bringing up the cooperation Kento had proposed earlier. George, what do you think about this partnership? I thought Father Lu was testing me, so I told the truth. The project is excellent, the profit and prospects are very promising. But you've overlooked one thing. That country just changed leadership. The new leader loudly declared his love for watching our country's football. Dad, do you really think such a person is reliable? When he takes office, his 3 fires, the 3rd fire will burn directly onto this project. The project won't be cancelled, but its timeline will be indefinitely delayed, tying up the Lu Corporation's cash flow. Later, the Ito family will join forces with the Jin family, the Ning family, and a foreign consortium, but even that won't be the deadliest blow. I sipped my tea, unwilling to dwell on matters beyond my control. The Lu family's bankruptcy wasn't something I could prevent. Besides, the 10 billion had already been transferred to me yesterday, marked as a voluntary gift. Father Lu, once a true titan of business, quickly found a possible breakthrough. That was to find allies. George, who do you think the Lu Corporation should cooperate with? I froze. Was that really a question I needed to answer? So I said, Dad, you might as well ask Willow. I don't understand business matters, but in my heart, I thought, other than the Lu family, the only reliable one I know is the Kim Corporation. But how do I say that? Sophia Kim is my crush. Should I really suggest my in-laws send me into a marriage alliance with the Kim family? Dad, Willow suddenly shouted, startling everyone. Father Lu nervously rubbed his nose, instinctively blurting, no, I didn't. Right, how could I ever do something like that? I was curious. Dad, what are you talking about? Mother Lu shot him a glare. Your dad's lost his mind. Ignore him. George, don't take the Ito father and son's provocations to heart. With your parents here, Willow won't dare act recklessly. I nodded while my thoughts ran wild. It seems Willow has changed. I think it's because we're at the old estate, she's restraining her emotions. Tomorrow, Makoto will go to the company to find her. That woman will appoint him as head of the project department, an extremely important position. That's outright aiding the enemy. If you don't go bankrupt, who will? Damn it. Willow collapsed once again onto the sofa, staring blankly at the ceiling. She was truly terrified. If she continued to stay with her husband, sooner or later her parents would beat her to death. Slap. This time, it wasn't Father or Mother Lu, but Freya who struck Willow across the face. Sis, you know exactly what kind of man Makoto is. How can you still dare? Willow, flustered, blurted, that's in the future. Cough, cough. Father and Mother Lu loudly coughed in unison, cutting off the sisters' words. Then they hurriedly urged me, George, you didn't sleep last night. Go back to your room and rest. I couldn't shake the feeling that this family was becoming stranger and stranger, almost unreal. Forget it. Either way, it was only for 1 month. After I left, the whole family looked at each other in silence. Now they knew who the enemy was, but not their exact plan. The Lu family alone could never fight against those other clans. They needed allies. The first consideration was a marriage alliance, which meant Willow absolutely could not divorce. Freya stepped forward. Mom, Dad, I agree to a marriage alliance. But Father and Mother Lu both refused, and Willow refused as well. Very few marriages of convenience in wealthy families ever brought happiness. They would not push their own daughter into a pit of fire. Freya stomped her foot anxiously. You don't actually mean to send brother-in-law to the Kim family for a marriage alliance, do you? Willow clenched her fist, ready to punch her sister. He is your brother-in-law, your real brother-in-law. Last night we already consummated the marriage. Mother Lu couldn't be bothered with the sisters' quarrel. Actually, Willow, you don't understand George at all. At this point, there's no point hiding it any longer. George has another identity. In your generation's words, he has an alt account. It turned out Father and Mother Lu had accepted George as a live-in son-in-law not only because of his background and looks, but also because of his abilities. Haven't you been searching for the hacker known by the codename GW? GW is George. What? Willow's shock now was no less than when she first heard my inner voice. Then why didn't he say so? Willow suddenly realized, no wonder her husband had claimed he would, coincidentally, run into Sophia abroad. There was no such thing as coincidence in this world, it was all calculated. The Kim Corporation, like the Lu Corporation, had its core business in internet products, and GW wasn't just any hacker. Every project he had been part of had been a major state-level project. The name GW itself was a resource. With resources came business, and with business came a company's lifeline. Father Lu couldn't help but complain. There's one thing I strongly disapprove of in George's way of doing things. A man with ability should display it to his woman. Women are naturally drawn to strength. But he insisted on clinging to this pure love ideal, otherwise, he would have already won over our daughter. Mother Lu and Freya both nodded, and Willow, standing beside them, nodded as well. This time, she truly agreed with her father's words, for she was Willow. The Willows of the myriad worlds would never fall in love with a simp. Chapter 11. After a long while, Willow returned to the bedroom. She slipped into my arms and softly asked, Husband, Are you GW? I didn't deny it. Yes, I was wrong to keep it from you before. I wanted to take the pure love route. Pretty laughable. Huh? Not laughable. Willow caressed my face with both hands. With a long sigh, she said, "It was my fault. I wasted so much time without ever truly connecting with your heart." I quickly cut her off. Let's not bother with hearts anymore. Isn't it better to just connect physically? That woman's words can't be trusted. The one she loves most is Makoto. If I connect emotionally with her, I'll only end up being PUA'd. Willow wanted to refute immediately, but she also knew there was no trust between us now. To rebuild it would take time, maybe a year, maybe a lifetime. Husband, can you hold me while I sleep? Actually, last night was the happiest moment of my life. I couldn't help but feel joy. See, to conquer a woman, you have to start with the body. Pure love was the stupidest thing ever. Fine. Since she also took my first time, when I bury her in the future, I'll at least buy her a decent urn. Willow smiled bitterly inside, unsure if she should feel happy or sad. The next day, Willow insisted on going to the company with me. For 3 years, we had kept our marriage hidden. She was the high and mighty CEO of the Lu Corporation, and I was just a low-level tech employee, not even a department manager. Now that we were on the verge of divorce, going together suddenly, I couldn't agree. Husband, we had quite the morning workout. You wore me out, and now you want to pull up your pants and deny it. You're not that kind of man, are you? I wanted to say yes, but when I saw her tearful look, I softened after all. So when we entered the company, Willow clung to my arm, acting like a delicate little bird. From the reception desk to the CEO's office, in less than 5 minutes, news of our 3-year marriage had spread throughout the entire company. 20 minutes later, Makoto rushed over after hearing the news. He stormed into the office and demanded, "Willow, didn't you say you'd divorce George once I returned? Now you've gone public with him. What was the point of me waiting 3 years? Damn, I was standing right here. Did he not see me as a human at all?" I sneered. "What's the point? You're just a toad. Isn't it said that toads never get to eat swan meat?" Willow burst out laughing, unable to hold it back. You too." Makoto was so furious he nearly had a seizure. "Willow, have you fallen in love with him? He's just a mud-legged nobody, a complete nothing." Willow boldly walked to my side and hugged me. "I love my husband. I only love my husband. In the past, I didn't understand love. I didn't know how to love. That's why I was deceived by your flowery words." Then her tone shifted, cold and stern. "Makoto, wasn't it you who stole my mother's missing underwear?" Makoto's face turned ashen, his eyes darting nervously, even retreating a step, forcing a laugh. He said, "Willow, that kind of joke is not funny." Willow arched her brow and signaled me with her eyes. I reacted instantly, stepping forward and slapping Makoto across the face. Then I kicked him hard. "You ungrateful bastard. You dare covet my mother-in-law. You even want both mother and daughter at once. Disgusting." Makoto, guilty as he was, didn't dare fight back. I gave him a thorough beating before finally letting him leave. Strange, how did Willow know about this? No wonder she suddenly started treating me well. It was because she finally saw her crush's true face. Too bad it's too late. I don't seem to like her as much as before, but I do like her body. She's already my woman. I can't just let her fall into trouble. Fine, I'll help her one more time. Willow felt both joy and sorrow in her heart. "Husband, can we not get divorced? If we do, my mom will never agree to let me marry another man because she'll think what they really want isn't me, but her. Or how about this, you can date girlfriends outside, just don't let me know." I was speechless. There was no way to respond to that. Proud Willow, saying something like this, she had to be bluffing. If only Willow had treated me like this 3 years ago, I definitely would have been willing to stay with her for life. Chapter 12. In the following days, storms began brewing again in City A's business world. Ever since the day when Makoto and Willow tore off their masks, the two families' companies had been clashing. According to Makoto's faction's plan, he was supposed to enter the Lu Corporation as head of the project department, leaking vast amounts of company secrets. Meanwhile, the Brazilian project would consume a huge portion of the Lu Corporation's cash flow. At that point, the Ito family, in league with other powerful clans, would squeeze the Lu family's survival space. The Lu family would then desperately need a large sum of money to keep the company afloat. With bank loans tightening, the Lu Corporation would have no choice but to mortgage or trade away part of its shares, and the Ito family would then be able to take those shares openly and legitimately. Bit by bit, they would eat away at the Lu Corporation, until finally taking it whole, forcing the Lu family out. The Lu family would go bankrupt. Father Lu would die of illness, while Mother Lu, Willow, and Freya would all meet tragic ends. Naturally, the Lu family could not accept such a fate. Through these days of overhearing my inner voice, Father Lu and Willow had already begun counterattacking. Of course, I hadn't been idle either. I had quite a few connections of my own. GW's reputation hadn't faded during these 3 years of my life as a live-in son-in-law. On the contrary, it had only grown. All thanks to the original George, and thanks to Willow as well. Since the original owner had no wife to eat with, play with, or chat with after work, he had poured all his free time into coding. Borrowing the light of my mentor, I used my network to bring in partners for the Lou Corporation. All were national-level enterprises, which finally gave Willow a breath of relief amid the chaos. But that still wasn't enough. The Lou Corporation needed cash. Tens of billions in cash. The bank's stance was uncertain, and under the combined assault of those powerful families, the Lou Corporation was teetering. Just as I was preparing to reach out to my mentor again, an unbelievable visitor arrived. "Senior, why are you here?" It was my senior, Sophia Kim. From behind, Willow emerged. "Husband, I told you I had a surprise for you." "Well, happy." I forced a smile. Shocked was more like it. Although my relationship with Willow had only progressed slowly lately, it hadn't stopped us from sleeping in each other's arms every night, but suddenly seeing my crush threw my heart into chaos. What is Willow playing at? Could she have brought Sophia here to test me, to tempt me into cheating, to claw back that 10 billion? Willow kept smiling, but her eyes were fixed on Sophia. When she saw no reaction, her smile grew even brighter. As expected, only the Lou family could hear my inner voice. "George, it's been a long time." This time I came at Willow's invitation to discuss cooperation, and to see you, of course. Willow nodded from the side. "Senior Kim came entirely for your sake, so why don't you hurry into the kitchen and cook us something delicious?" I knew the two women were about to discuss serious business. Willow sending me away suited me just fine. By the time I had prepared 5 dishes and 1 soup, they had finished their talk. Dinner went harmoniously, and when I saw Sophia off, I asked Willow, "How did you persuade Senior to cooperate with you?" Willow gave a mysterious smile. "A straight hook to fish. Whoever wants to bite, will bite." I rubbed my temples. She was still playing word games with me. If she didn't want to say, fine. Willow's been treating me better and better, but I still want to hit her, inside and out. Willow was speechless. Chapter 13. With the help of the Kim Corporation. Within just 1 month, the Lou Corporation not only recovered but also successfully won the great struggle among the elite families of City A. The Ito Corporation was on the verge of bankruptcy. That day, Makoto came to the Lou residence wearing a suit that didn't quite fit. At first glance, it looked ill-fitting, but upon closer inspection, I saw it wasn't the suit's fault. He had wasted away, grown terribly thin. The moment he entered, he knelt on the floor. He pleaded, "Uncle Lou, Willow, please spare my Ito family. From now on, the Ito family will follow the Lou family's lead. We will serve as slaves, as servants." Naturally, Father Lou and Willow would not agree. Mother Lou had already made a grand vow. If the Ito family ceased to exist, all her assets would be donated after her death. That was how deep her hatred for Makoto ran. And who could blame her? The neighborhood boy she had watched grow up, who courted her daughter only to get closer to her, just so he could steal her underwear. Even though her public disgrace had been averted, his intentions were already damnable. Among the Lou family, Father Lou was the one who hated the Ito family most. Makoto had coveted both his wife and his daughter, even schemed against his younger daughter. In the end, it was he who caused the Lou family's downfall, their ruin, their deaths. How could Father Lou ever spare the Ito family? "Makoto, the only reason I let you through this door today is so you can hand over the Ito family's overseas trust fund. Do that, and I'll spare your father." By now, Kento was already in the ICU. Whether spared or not hardly mattered. At most, it would mean Father Lou would handle the aftermath and publicly show the Lou family's benevolence. But Makoto caught the hidden meaning in Father Lou's words. If he obeyed, his father would leave the world with some dignity. If he refused, his father wouldn't even die with that much. The overseas trust fund was Makoto's final lifeline. Father Lou was intent on wiping out the Ito family completely. Makoto could, of course, flee abroad, but without the shelter of the Ito Corporation, and given the Lou family's power, he would not be able to protect himself. "Uncle, I don't want to go to prison." Father Lou nodded. Agreed. When Makoto left, Willow and Freya flared up in anger. "Dad, how could you let Makoto go? All for that bit of money?" Father Lou remained calm and unshaken. "I only said I wouldn't put him in prison. I also said I wouldn't lay a hand on him." He then lifted his gaze toward me. "But that doesn't mean my son-in-law will spare him." I understood. Father-in-law wanted me to take revenge personally. Economic crimes meant only a few years in prison. But Makoto, he had returned to steal my wife. That was the hatred of someone trying to take another man's woman. And worse, he dared to covet the mother-in-law I respected most. As a man, if I swallowed this insult, I'd never live freely in this lifetime. Unless I was like the original George, a spineless loser who only knew how to run from everything. Willow behaved well today. Tonight, I'll extend the session. Willow, both happy and relieved, thought to herself, at last, no more beatings. Mom's little whip burns with fiery pain. Husband's little whip brings delightful pleasure. Mother Lou came out of the room at that moment, covering her nose. Uncle Wu, have the maids clean up the air. Uncle Wu was clearly used to his lady's whimsical orders. He instantly appeared to make arrangements. Suddenly, I remembered something. Right, Willow also has a junior at the company. According to the original trajectory, after the Liu family went bankrupt, that junior never abandoned her. He even sacrificed his life for her. I wonder if… Willow suddenly screamed, interrupting my thoughts, then forced a kiss onto me. It took her a long while to let go. My lips were swollen from her sucking. Willow pleaded, husband, in this lifetime I only love you. If I ever cheat, you can have mom and dad beat me to death. I was baffled by her sudden string of bold moves. Lesson learned, Willow's words can't be trusted. Willow plopped down on the floor in despair. Her mind thundered with panic. What junior? She didn't even know such a person existed in the company. Father and Mother Lou exchanged glances. Then Father Lou removed a ring from his hand and passed it to me. George, this represents a private unit under the Lou Corporation's control. You can think of them as an enforcement squad. I'm giving it to you now. From this day on, if my daughter ever cheats, you can deal with her and the men however you like, before it even happens. I knew of this unit's existence. In the original story, they had been wiped out by the Ito family allied with other clans. But now Father Lou was entrusting them to me. Willow quickly took the ring, put it on my finger herself, and sighed with relief. Husband, now you can rest assured about me, right? Mother Lou comforted me as well. Even though we parents can help you keep an eye on your wife, as a man, you must show dominance. Whatever you do, don't ever go back to that pure love nonsense. Freya chimed in encouragingly, brother-in-law, just make my sister keep having kids for you, keep her giving birth until she's 50. Let's see if she still has time or energy to cheat then. I was speechless. Willow was speechless. But Father and Mother Lou said in unison, great idea. Chapter 14, Extra Story. Just as Willow had guessed, in this world, all coincidences are nothing but careful calculations by people. Sophia had actually been paying attention to George all along. Back in school, she had already taken an interest in this junior who was so focused on his studies. Unfortunately, after graduation he became a live-in son-in-law to the Liu family. She thought there would never be any connection again. Who could have expected that one day, his wife would come knocking on her door? Sophia, I know you're my husband's crush, and he's your Prince Charming. Our Liu family is facing a disaster. I hope to gain the Kim family's support. When it's all over, we'll compete fairly. Willow chose honesty, laying everything that had happened on the table, including her relationship with Makoto, including the troubles facing the Liu Corporation, including George wanting to leave. The only thing she didn't mention was that her family could hear George's inner voice. Sophia sneered. Doesn't it seem like it would benefit me more if your Liu family went bankrupt and George became single again? Willow replied firmly, the goddess in my husband's heart is kind and gentle. She would never watch from the sidelines or help evil. Sophia, would you? Sophia let out a long sigh. If Willow hadn't come to her today, she could have kept out of it. But now that Willow had come begging, if George later found out she had turned a blind eye, it might damage their relationship. You really believe I care about George that much? Willow nodded. After all, in the original trajectory, Sophia, this lofty CEO, had been willing to marry George even though he was divorced. But she couldn't say that part aloud. Sophia, there's only one chance. In the end, Sophia still agreed, because it was for George. The 10 billion divorce fee was converted into a 5% stake in the Liu Corporation. She also revealed GW's identity to support the Liu family, and she leveraged her teacher's connections to bring clients to the Liu Corporation. All this showed George didn't want the Liu family to go bankrupt. As George's crush, Sophia couldn't bear to ruin her image in his eyes. Within a month, with the cooperation of the Kim and Liu families, they successfully defeated all their powerful enemies. But Sophia soon realized she had been deceived. Willow, this is the fair competition you promised me. Sophia stomped her foot in anger, waving a piece of paper in her hand. Willow was pregnant, so it turns out that while she was busy with work, she was also frantically picking mushrooms, and she actually pulled it off. Willow gave an awkward smile. This can't be blamed on me. If you must blame someone, blame my mom. She's the one who said I could only marry George in this lifetime. Otherwise, she'd think every other man was coveting her. Sophia's face turned frosty. You owe me an explanation. Willow pretended to hesitate for a long time. How about you become my mother's goddaughter? Sophia was stunned. You. Willow nodded firmly. My mom only allows her daughters to marry George. Parentheses, Freya doesn't count. Sophia was dumbfounded. Could it really work like that? Willow saw Sophia's hesitation. Inwardly, she sneered coldly, still putting on an act. If it weren't for the fact that she couldn't do without the Kim family as an ally, if it weren't for Sophia being her husband's crush, she wouldn't have cared this much. Forget it. Adults don't dwell too much on love and emotions. Everything is for profit. Powerful families don't trust a marriage certificate. Children are the real bond of feelings. Sophia, don't hope for too much. My husband can love you most, but I'll always be his wife for life. Sophia stayed silent for a long while before lowering her head and whispering, "Thank you, Willow." Hearing this, Willow burst into laughter. She immediately took out her phone. "Assistant Lisa, go order a little leather whip, the exact same kind as my mom's." Sophia's expression changed drastically. What are you going to do? Do you and George have that kind of hobby?" Willow sighed helplessly. "Don't overthink. This is my child's very first gift in life, to let him taste the suffering I once endured." Sophia's eyelid twitched, and she quietly moved a little farther away from Willow. Better not warn her. Let her experience firsthand what generational love really means.